Hello, everybody, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Nations United. The series, of course, where we say, you've had enough time in the spotlight, Canada. You've had enough time in the spotlight, America. And then Russia, Sweden, and Finland, of course. We ignore the big nations. We try to build a winner out of players from outside of the big nations. Last episode, the main team lost in the second round to the Buffalo Sabres after a pretty impressive run just to get into the playoffs. Of course, our NHL team is on their way to the conference final after a 64-win season, and now that we pay attention to them, they might actually lose. That would sound about right. As we move forward towards the draft and free agency, it is worth noting that no, I haven't looked at all, as boy, that's embarrassing. Charlotte Checkers end up getting him. I haven't looked at all at who's going to be available in the draft. I figured why bother, as the Arizona Coyotes win the Stanley Cup. Okay. Right. How? We're not that far into this. They beat the Rangers in 6. Who the hell is on their team at this point? Talk about bizarre results. Jesus. Arizona led by... Oh, okay. Well, they have Ryan Strome, Calle Jarnkrok, Radulov, Dvorak. That's funny. Add him to the list of players, of course, that you have to move. The newest Montreal Canadiens. And defensively... NHL 22 and roster editing. It cannot get here soon enough so that I can make OEL like a 78 overall. Sorry, Canucks fans, but that's about where he's going to be. And fun fact, sorry again, Canucks fans, because Thatcher Demko was the winning goaltender. So Edmonton, Toronto, and Arizona are the first 3 Stanley Cup champions, which is hilarious, weird, bizarre, maybe kind of sad. OEL won the Conn Smythe. Oh, God, that has been... Still, how the hell did Ryan O'Reilly end up in Vancouver? This has still probably been my biggest challenge with this series. Like, I can change the outlook of the entire hockey world with a team like we have and a strategy like we're using, but it doesn't stop the AI from doing dumb things because of horrifically overrated and or underrated players. NHL 22 can't come fast enough. As, again... Good thing we traded away our first round pick. It would have been outside the lottery anyway. Detroit gets the number 1 selection. And in terms of retired players, Joe Thornton, Jason Spezza, Brent Burns, Duncan Keith, Chris Letang, Mark Giordano gone as well. God, I can't wait until NHL 22. The Kraken are going to be in. I don't know if I'm going to do a Kraken series, at least not immediately. Same thing as when the Vegas Golden Knights joined. I did not do a series with Vegas immediately. And it actually worked out because a couple months into NHL 22, when I did finally do a Vegas series, that was one of my, if not my favorite series of the year. So, yes, the clickbait in a way of being like, Seattle franchise, it's going to be a very popular thing. I don't know if I will partake right out of the gates. So, hey, we'll see. That said, okay, so there are 2 players that we could draft if we had a top 5 pick, including Chase Barlow, who'd be nice to have, but I kind of prefer who we have already. There's also Jude Barrett, who's also NHL ready. Aside from those 2, Angelides out of Denmark, 2 years out. Heberlein, the German, 2 years out. A Thornton comparison, despite being 5'9". I mean, obviously a playmaker then. Another German, Oliver Kopitz. He looks good, too. NHL ready, even if he's a medium 4. Another Dane, Guillermo McInnes. The great Dane, Guillermo. There's also Joe Hewson. There's actually quite a few players available, but the question is, as Marcus Fical is also there. And an Italian, Connor Pino. Wow. I certainly was not expecting that many available players in the first round. There's a Ukrainian as well, Maxim Bure. Problem is, nobody wants to trade their first rounder aside from Carolina. So we'll sim to the Hurricanes pick. We'll see who's left. And then maybe make things happen as Nurminen goes to Detroit. The Kings did take Barlow, 79 medium elite. Maybe a future member of the European elite. We'll see what happens. Sharks take McPherson. There goes Barrett, 77 high 6. A guy named Jenks. And Connor Bedard. Old Connor Bedard. So, I mean, there's Angelidis, there's Heberlein. Both look interesting. Stat-wise, they kind of even out. But then there's the defenseman, the German, Oliver Kopitz. So we would be looking, again, this is pick number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So, I mean, around pick number 15 if we wanted to try to secure Kopitz, which makes sense that if anybody available, we need defense. I think Kopitz is the guy. So is there anyone willing to trade their pick number 15 on the dot? The Tampa Bay Lightning. Willing to trade that selection. So draft pick-wise, we got nothing. Absolutely nothing, of course. We really leveraged the future here, so this could be rough. Elvis Merzlikins has some trade value. Now is the time to get rid of him. I know what you're saying. Well, it was only one bad year. It's a $5 million cap hit. If we can move that, we should. Defensively, again, Donov, Seider, Ronick, Kempney, Gudis. We can add Hurd to the deal just to see if there's any value. And then the forwards are looking good, especially Semyonov. I mean, our top 6 is set, top 9. We know that we can move on from one forward because Nino ended up on the 4th line this year. Niederreiter has 4 years left at $4 million. Good time to get rid of him if he get bumped out. I mean, he had a pretty damn good season on the 4th line, but is he the right long-term solution? You know. So they would be over the cap. I'm willing to retain money. I don't know if it'll be enough on Merzlikins. Carolina's got a minute left, so we got to hurry here. Okay, so if I retain 50% on Elvis, we're looking good. That won't go through on its own. I got to use a little bit more here and then really hope this guy's good. We still have Gleboff and Riley as well. There's Faxa, Martin Kaut. There's also Gill that we can throw in there. See, the problem is I just don't know if we're going to have enough to trade up. We might have to use somebody else or do a couple of different picks. That 5th rounder's not enough either. We had a 4th rounder down the road, did we not? We do. Is that enough? No. So we're going to have to get creative here. We'll let Carolina make their selection. And instead of going for one pick, what we'll do is try to make a bunch of different picks or a bunch of different trades. Now, again, in terms of using the trade finder, it's a risk because I can't say, oh, I'm only interested in draft picks. I mean, I can, technically, if I were to edit the trade block. But you can't edit the trade block once you're in the drafts. So that's kind of the... Yes, you can. You can hit the X button. That's right. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong. See, I'm getting rusty. I'm getting rusty. I keep forgetting some of the changes. So our surplus, we're just going to list as fucking... I mean, actually, we should probably have every one of our picks, including the first. I forgot they added that feature. Flat out. Completely forgot. People are probably screaming at me. We'll try it. I don't think it'll work, if I'm being honest with you. I really don't think it'll work, but pretty much what we'll say is, hey, give me draft picks. And if it works, cool, and if it doesn't, well then, shit, what are you going to do? And we'll go find our own trades. So Elvis Merzlikins using the trade block. Hello. Okay, so a 3rd and a 4th, a 3rd and a 4th, a 3rd and a 6th. We'll obviously take the 3rd and 4th from Edmonton. I'll try to see if I can get a little bit more. But at least we know Edmonton's interested in making a deal happen. And honestly, I think a 3rd and a 4th might be the best we can get. We'll try to pick Horde. Let's take out the 5th. Yeah, so they were pretty close in terms of fair value. We were able to add a 7th. So Tim Stützle is not too happy, but we do move on from Elvis Merzlikins and pick up some draft picks in exchange. Adam Huska, I can get something for him. I can get a 6th round pick from the Rangers. Again, we'll try to add a little bit to that. We'll send him back to New York because we could just roll with Sjogard and Parikh. So the 5th won't work. What about a 6th and a 7th? So you know what? In fairness, yeah, I guess they tune this a little bit more than I remember. They pretty much do offer fair value. I guess sometimes they'll still try to cheese you. So I think we pretty much have our goaltenders. We can also keep Ustimenko, just in case. And, of course, we still have Kaleta. Defensively, this is where it gets tough. Can I get anything for Hurd? Svatos, 2/7. We'll take the 2/7 from San Jose. There's Galvis, of course, Andrei Sekera. Let's look by overall. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is where it's tough. If I can trade Andrei Sekera, I should. Unfortunately, I can't. Mirko Mueller, can't get anything for him. And the pick is through. Dallas takes Fontaine. Not too bad. Let's see what else we can do here. Like I said, we're going to nickel and dime away some pieces for as many draft picks as we can possibly accumulate. Siegenthaler, nothing. Jan Ruda, nothing. So we are going to be stuck with a lot of these guys. Christian Jarosz, nope. Honestly, Galvis, nope, even for him. Corbinian Holzer, no. What about for Goldobin? 2/7. Jonathan Drouin's, I mean, in theory, it would be smart. Let's take Jonathan Drouin's draft or signing rights and then flip him. I can't imagine it's not worth more than a 7th. Zubov, we can get nothing for. What about Hamara? What about combined? Yeah, so I mean, those two really aren't worth much. On the right-hand side, Nino Niederreiter. 3rd and the 5th, and in fairness, I am hitting the wrong button. I'm leaving it open. This one, though, we can do the trades for. So 3rd and a 5th seems to be the best going rate for Nino, which I'm willing to take. 96th overall, 93rd overall in this draft from Buffalo. We'll take that deal from the Buffalo Sabres and move on from Nino Niederreiter's contract. Martin Ferk, 2/7 is the going rate. We'll take the deal from Chicago. And again, just get something back in the system. Dominic Simone, nothing. Lucas Jasic, nothing. What about Marian Studnik? Still nothing, okay? And on that left-hand side, Jonathan Drouin. Honestly, let's shorten it up to just draft picks. And even then, it is just 7ths. But we technically got an extra pick out of this, did we not? We'll take that deal from Tampa, which might be the wrong idea, but honestly, we're not really trying to shop good players to them anymore, so it doesn't really matter. Michael Frolik. Again, we're looking at 7ths. 212 is the best one. We'll take that from Toronto. Michael Raffel. Again, looking at 7ths, but we'll take it. There's 2/7 from Calgary with pick 204. Send Michael Raffel on his way. This could really hurt the morale of the team, but we got to do what we got to do here. I mean, I don't really care if the AHL team isn't that good. We'll take on 2/7 from Buffalo. Mikhail Bodker. Again, 7ths. We'll take one this year. Tomas Jurcho. 7th from Winnipeg, and we'll have to go back to that trade. So we are definitely tearing apart the AHL, but they won 64 games and then still lost, so I don't really care. But yeah, Tomas Jurcho, the Yurko. Send him to Winnipeg. Peter Solaric. Nothing. What about Yoshida, who honestly doesn't look that bad? He'll stay, and Nabokov will stay as well. Only thing I'm worried about is morale. Hedel stays. Radek Faxa's an interesting one. Let's go from the bottom on this one. What about old Gill? He'll stay. We still have Glebov and Riley, who we'll probably use if we have to. Yegor Sharangovich, who gets completely screwed. He should be better than that. Tomas Nosek is an interesting one. We got to see if we're going to keep him, Faxa, and Gergensons. So the forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, the numbers didn't go through. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So, I mean, out of these 78s, it's kind of a tough call. Martin Kaut stays. And then it's a matter of who else. It's a matter of who else between Gergensons, Faxa, and Nosek. And I think we should pretty much look to get whoever the hell we can, or whatever we can for these guys, because in theory, none of them are going to be, huge difference makers. Tomas was pretty good this season. It was Gergensons that struggled, and Faxa didn't really get a shot. So I hate to trade the pride of Latvia here, but we are going to move on from Zemgus Gergensons. He's on an expiring deal, so he might end up being a free agent anyway. And then for Faxa and Tomasz. Tomasz is also a free agent, so we'll try to trade his rights. And we'll pick up some sevenths from Washington. And then again, he could be back. So risky moves to accumulate draft picks. We'll sim Minnesota's selection. They take Bobrovsky. And hopefully we can still work out this deal with Tampa now that we have some extra picks, including 2 third-rounders. But I can't help but think the right move would be to either give up Glebov, Riley, or Kaut, and Riley makes sense. He's worse than Glebov. So that won't go through on its own, which is unfortunate. But now we, honestly, we'll save the draft picks. And we'll just nickel and dime our way up. Let's actually go to all skaters. And we'll nickel and dime our way up with players like this. Is that enough? No, that's not surprising. Unfortunately. So who do we want to keep? Let's add Gill and see if that's enough. It's not. Take one of you out. And what about a 6th this year from the Rangers? Trust me, I know this is wishful thinking, but we got to try. 5th rounder doesn't work. What about the 4th rounder? That doesn't work either. 3rd rounder from Buffalo. Still doesn't work, and apparently it's not even in the right ballpark, they say. What about the 4th as well? Still rejected. Take out Nabokov. Add in a 5th. That still won't work. Good God. I mean, I know what I'm trying to trade for here, but I was a little bit more hopeful than this. Is it worth cashing out on both of these young forwards for this pick? And I can't help but think that the answer is yes. Because we should be able to get more back in the deal. I don't know how much. That's why we're going to go exploring. Let's take out the 4th. Take out the 3rd. Oof. Tampa drive a hard bargain, let me tell you. Take out the 4th. Still saying we're nowhere near the ballpark, which is surprising. I really don't feel like I'm adding in that much value. This pick is worth it, though. We gotta hope that he's a medium elite, but Jesus, even those 2 alone aren't enough to get that pick. There's a big-time risk here. Pretty far away. I mean, we're boned then. We're boned. It's not worth it. Unless he's a medium elite. Because otherwise we're losing out on some pretty severe value. Now is the time to value assets. And to be honest, if they're going to play hardball like that, we'll go to Calgary really quickly. And obviously their pick's going to be worth more. But let's just double check how close we can get here. And they'd have too many skaters. So we actually might not be able to trade up, which is unfortunate. The German Heberlein's off the board. The next best thing we could do is try to trade with Winnipeg if that defenseman doesn't go off the board. But we'll try one more time with Tampa just to check. I know, in theory we could take a hit and move on from someone like Verana. Andre Palat's 32. Honestly, that might be the answer. Move on from Palat. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with Hurdle. Yeah, I honestly think we got to move on from Andre Palat. He's 32. His value will never be higher. They would be over the cap. Again, that trade from earlier didn't really help. What if I take on the Drouin contract and retain? I shouldn't really have to retain that much. Here we go. Will this go through is my question. The answer is probably no. But I'm going to safety net it really quickly. Take out the 4th. Take out the 5th. Take out the 3rd. and add in the late picks again. Damn it. Take out the 4th. Take out the 5th. Take out the 6th. God damn it, Tampa. Add the 7th. Will that go through? Yes, it will. So we do send Andre Palat back to Tampa. It's a risk. He's been a really good player for us, but he is 32. And let's be honest here, there's a chance that we could really get somebody that can help out long term. Jonathan Drouin, we will move again for a 7th rounder. He's off to Columbus. So, done deal. We did what we had to do, and we will take the German defender Oliver Kopitz, who played in Sweden this year. Even if he's a medium 4, he's NHL ready. How good is Kopitz? And indeed, he's a medium 4, 77 overall, but it is the type of defender that we really needed to get into the system. So, a lot of moves to get it done, but I'm fairly happy with how that panned out. The only question now is, again, has any team, hello Bondra, Russian, available? Carolina, leaving someone like Bondra available. That's huge. We have no info on Koskinen. There is also Dominic Bach, who's in a similar situation as Martin Kaut. We might have to talk with Carolina here. Pelletier, Stranges, Sillinger. I'm just double checking back through the names because honestly I didn't expect anybody to be there. Carolina right now is a very interesting team. Kennens is Russian. We might have to work out that deal with Carolina. Anton Lundell. Honestly, I was doing this to see if the Rangers had Hayek available. But then all of the sudden, somebody else is available and Hayek still isn't. So, do we have the assets here? As Matt Zuccarello's on the block, but we won't bring him back. Torrey Krug's on the block. Do we have the value? Do we have the assets to pull off that deal with Carolina? And honestly, I mean, Bach is another type of defender that we're really missing. And I think the answer here, I mean, obviously, again, we have our top 9. The 4th line will be what it is. This is where Gleboff and Riley can really help us out. And I'm looking to get Bach back in the deal if I can, because he could be a 4th liner for us this year. So we're still going to need more value. You could argue using Hurdle in this deal. Not saying it's the right move. We now have the 3rd rounders in this draft that we can use. Don't know if the mic picked up the dog in the background. Gotta love wooden floors. No traction. Is this gonna work? Okay, what if we take out Dominic Bach? Carolina would have too many skaters. Boston's about to make their pick. Let's just see if we can take on... damn it. Man, they made that pick really fast. Honestly, I mean, we can try the trade finder really quickly. I'm not holding my breath that there is an answer here. If we do... Did they... Okay, yeah, Dominic Bach is still there. Hedel and Sider, obviously not. Semyonov and Ronick, Dodonov, Natchez. Yeah, so obviously none of those are going to happen. If I take out Dominic Bach, Dodonov or Semyonov, they basically want a 1-for-1. So we are going to have to try to find our own solution here. And I don't think I like the answer as to where this is going, because it does potentially involve giving up Tomas Hertl. But considering we got him for pretty cheap, it is what it is. But we know we need to build up this defense. Gleboff, Riley, Kaut. Those are the 3 that we really need to look at giving away. I will also take on the expiring contract of Jordan Staal. Hate to do this, but will it work? No. What if we take Dominic Bach out of the deal? We'd have to have the expiring deal of Jordan Staal and the expiring deal of Marcus Sorensen, who, if I'm not mistaken, is Swedish. Damn it. Will this go through? No. And apparently we're incredibly far away, which is why I think Hurdle is going to happen. Yeah. And it's worth it. I mean, again, Hurdle's approaching 30. Bondra is the type of elite defenseman alongside Dadonov, or Dadnov, call him what you will, that can be the stud defenders on this team for years to come. So Hurdle was pretty damn good for us. But we'll still have Pasternak, Hischier, Stützle, Necas, Hedel, Semyonov. And then Vrana would probably be on the third line. So maybe let's try Vrana first, even though he's 2 years younger. Because, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Well, actually, someone would have to be on the third line. It might even be Hurdle. It's easier to have Vrana on the third line. But we could use... That's the thing, though, right? Someone like Hurdle, and they're about to make their pick here. Someone like Hurdle could be used in future trades. God damn it, it's always at like the 30-second mark that they make their deal. Let's try Vrana first. Give up a lot of assets instead of one really good asset, which kind of hurts, but we'll do what we have to do. Back over to forwards. Vrana, Glebov, Riley. For the Hurricanes, Stahl and Sorensen. Will it go through? No, it won't, and we're still quite far off, apparently. It's got to be Hurdle. Unless Martin Kaut can get this to work, which I doubt it. We'll add Sutter. It went through. We give up Vrana, Glebov, Riley, and Martin Kaut. That's a lot to give up, but we do get a fantastic defender in Michael Bondra onto the team. Tough decisions, tough moves, but we do what we have to do. Jordan Stahl, nobody wants his rights. Oh, that sucks. What about Sutter? The 7th. Sorokin's rights. Sorokin, excuse me. Nygaard. We'll take pick number 219 to get rid of Sutter. And, I mean, we pick up Stahl in the deal, but literally we're going to have to move him or just let him go for absolutely nothing. Is what it is. So with that, I mean, we're definitely done in terms of the moves that we can make in this draft. There will be no more trading up. I mean, that was a lot of value to give up, but definitely worth it. We'll move ahead to one of our picks, if not two of our picks that we have in the third round. And let's see who's available here. So in terms of who's projected to be drafted, Kulikov is there. Another Ukrainian, Ovechkin. There is Wojciech Svoboda, Zucker. I mean, that's... Okay. Well, that's pretty much confirmed then, isn't it? I was going to sort by value, believe it or not. There's also Kravchenko, Germain, Oleksiy, Furtak, Bertuzzi, Boyle, Luke or Luquez, Aho. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, no doubt about it. This next pick, the defender, I mean, he won't have a good overall, but he is a medium elite, so he'll have value. Patrick Zucker, who will be a wonderful trade piece for us in the near future. Honestly, I mean, I think that right there makes it worth it. All the moves that we just made, that makes it worth it, because one of those third-round picks that we acquired just led to a slam dunk. It's a high elite goalie gets taken. There was another medium elite. So we have one more pick here in the third round. And then the question is, who the hell do we go for? There's Svoboda. Ovechkin could have a decent starting overall. But then there's Andronov. Has no strengths. But can you trust that potential being close to what it's saying? We're looking at him. We're looking at Boyle, who I don't really trust. Bunka was trash. And then there's Svoboda. I think we got to take the risk with Ruslan Andronov and just hope for the best. Andronov, how good are you? High starter. He was indeed a high starter. I don't think he'll pan out, of course. Seems like a low chance of that happening. Unfortunately, high starter is worth like a third-round pick. I like their idea of making draft picks more valuable, but then certain potentials seem like they're just not worth anything. I still don't think they've gotten the balance right on trade values, admittedly. And maybe, honestly, like, you know, the roster that you use affects that as well. It does. You know, if you make certain players better, it affects the trade value of other players, which is why, again, big fan of my custom rosters. Not to toot my own horn, of course, but it helps a lot to... It just basically changes the entirety of what happens. So in terms of who's available here now, I mean, we're on pick 114. It's between these players right here. So I think it's pretty clear. I mean, unless there's someone with a crazy high overall, which there won't be, we take the risk on someone like the goaltender Nikolai Kravchenko. Let's go for him. Nikolai, how good are you? Medium fringe. I mean, he might turn into a goalie that we could use eventually. Bertuzzi is projected next to go, and we'll take him because the other ones are way down the road. So Duke Bertuzzi is a medium bottom 6. We're in the 6th round now. There was a guy named Dolan that we know basically nothing about out of Norway. I mean, it would just be a complete shot in the dark. Still a failure by our scouting department. Let's take the risk. Aiden Germain. As expected, he's trash. We got 1 steal, and that's a very fortunate thing. Let's take Theodore Aho, who is trash. And pick number, oh my god, we have like the entire 7th round. Cool. Let's take Patrick Furtak, because why the hell not? He's trash. It's not as if these 7th rounders really have any value to us. We'll take Bill Lampkin out of Switzerland. Medium bottom 6, sure, whatever. We'll also take goalie Jamie Rogalski, because why not? Medium fringe. I mean, these guys are worth more than the picks are that we're using to select them, so it's a win. And we'll also go for Jimmy Miura out of Norway, another goalie. Medium fringe. Oh my god, we have like 4 picks in a row. And after Miura, it will be Graham Staples out of Denmark. Medium bottom 6. When we have another pick and another pick. I mean, again, it's working out. We're getting guys who are worth more than the 7th round pick is in terms of trade value. Stanislav Emelin, another goalie. This one out of the Ukraine. Medium backup. Who else can we get? Should start pinning players at this stage instead of scrolling down so far. We'll take Tyrone Savage, because why not? Out of Poland, he's a medium 7th. Is this our last pick? Nope, we got another one, at least one more after this. Who else can it be? Who else can it be? Who will it be now? It will be... I mean, Walker Helm, as much as I'd love to draft an Italian, we got to aim higher than that. We'll take Roman Kechter out of Germany, who is terrible. Maybe we should have taken the Italian. I mean, in terms of sorting by potential, we're not really going to have anything, so we might as well just go off of who's projected to be selected soonest, or sooner. We could have done that earlier in the draft, and honestly, maybe we should have. So we're not going to take Helm. So there's Alexiev. And then we get a couple of Austrians, a Latvian. All right. So we should be fine. So in terms of pinned players, who's projected to be selected next? It is the Austrian Jonah Purinton. His name is Jonah. Actually, it's more of Timofey Alexiev. But Alexiev's 19. We'll rule out the overagers. And it's Purinton, who is a medium 7th. Shocker. We have 2 more picks. How many 7th round picks do we get? We'll take Jaden Pacioretty, another Austrian, medium bottom 6. And we will take Latvian Dmitry Valentenko, medium 7th. Oh my God. We'll take Latvian Dmitry Taratukin, medium bottom 6. We have all the picks. Jesus. Let's just go by potential again. And we'll aim for, let's see, Sotheby's an overager. Helm's not that good. Hennessy's 20. God, I remember the days of overagers being OP, though. Those were great days. Great days indeed. I mean, again, at least you'd get higher overalls. You wouldn't get good potentials, but you'd get some higher overalls. This sucks. What can we do? Again, we'll sort by age and just hope for the best, pretty much. We'll take Jamie Reese. I expect him to be tragically bad, and he is. And again, same thing. We will sort by age and just hope to get someone like Brandon Amadio. I thought it was Braden for a minute. Out of Ease alone. He's tragic. Let's keep looking. We own half the 7th round. Only steals were what they used to be. Let's go for the Hungarian Brendan O'Mara. Trash. Again, I don't recommend drafting players like this. Gabriel Vetterl. Trash. And the final pick of the drafts. Who will it be? The answer is going to be, let's see, there's Clementon, there's Latipov, there's Gotch, there's Perez-Ogan, there's Cohen Champion, there's Gleason. There's so many young players. Jesus. So we actually have a decent chance of a steal because some of these guys aren't projected to be drafted until next year. Well, who's it going to be then? In terms of projection, they're all projected to be way the hell down the road. Did anybody actually do anything? Only one player scored a goal. 6'4" center and Gleason. Wait, his name is actually Tim Gleason. Tim Gleason Jr. out of Denmark. He's trash. So that was a draft. Like all of the picks are beyond 200 as well. Jesus. But we do get a steal in the 3rd round. We acquire a fantastic defenseman from the Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, we don't have too much to attend to in terms of re-signing either. Philip Hedl is the big name. The question, again, is whether or not there's anybody out there that we can actually sign. And in terms of projections, yeah, it doesn't look too good, does it? I mean, in terms of goalies, top rated, we're looking at Rittich Vanacek. Bringing Vitek back into the fold. In terms of potential, we'll take a look here from the bottom up, so to speak, and it's not letting me scroll properly. Thanks, EA. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's Lukas Dostal. If he hits the open market, I'm not holding my breath. That would be a pretty big mistake by Anaheim. And then for defensemen, oh boy, do we have anybody? Valimaki is Finnish. Yeah, we had to make that trade. There is no help coming through other methods. There's just not. Yeah, we made the right choice to move on from like Palat. Ovi could potentially be a free agent. Obviously not available to us. Highest rated guy that is available to us. Oh my God, we're having to scroll forever. It's Philip Hedl. Oh my God. I think it reset us to Hedl. That's why. Daniel Sprong and Timo Meier. Okay, so we might have some more forwards to kind of replenish what we just lost. Bottom line is, pretty big fan of that draft. We'll see how free agency goes next time.